welcome back to my channel. So today for you guys I have some Dollar Tree Easter DIYs. This is kind of being uploaded late in the game because Easter is early April. It's April 4th. It's honestly right around the corner. Girl! I'm sure most of you guys are like, Bethany, your hair's in a ponytail. I hate ponytails. I never wear them. But soon enough, I'm going to upload a makeover video. I cut my hair, so it's in a ponytail because I don't want you guys to see it quite yet. And I was just going to do my makeup for the first time in 2 years. Just give myself a postpartum makeover. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your favorite DIY down in the comments below. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell button to be notified every single time that I upload. I upload lots of Dollar Tree related videos, Dollar Tree DIYs, Dollar Tree hauls, and then Target sprinkled here and there, Five Below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the video like I said, and now let's begin.
For our first DIY, we're going to be using these carrots from Dollar Tree. Last year they carried them in a 4-pack. This year they're carrying them in a 6-pack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these to create a wreath. So I take my hot glue and I start attaching the carrots side by side by side. I angle them as I attach them to get that wreath circular shape. I used 6 packs of the carrots to create my wreath. You can make it as small as you want and as large as you want. So the bigger, the more packs you're going to need. After I attached all my carrots together, I decided to use these little wreath circles that I got from Dollar Tree. I decided to attach them to the back because on its own, the carrots, they kind of bent around a little too much. You can also use foam board to do this from Dollar Tree. The circle foam wreaths they have as well. There's different options. Next up, I took this decor piece from Dollar Tree and I'm going to cut the carrots off of it. I am not getting rid of that rabbit head. I'm saving that for another DIY. I decided to glue the Happy Easter carrots onto the center of my wreath. I just used hot glue to do this. I also decided to glue on 2 of these little felt bunnies from Dollar Tree. I love how this wreath turned out, and since a lot of the decor in my home involves a lot of greenery, this blends in so nicely with the home decor that I already have on hand. Moving on to our next DIY. From Dollar Tree, I picked up these little gnomes. You're going to find them in the gardening section. Now, I used my Cricut to cut out some vinyl in the Ray Dunn font style. I got my font from Etsy for a couple of bucks. There's a bunch of different sellers you can choose from. I've talked about this many of times in my tutorials. Dollar Tree carries items you can use if you don't have a Cricut. They have rub-on transfer stickers that you just cut the letters out and then you just rub them onto whatever you want. They have glass markers that you can use, permanent markers. Another option, if you want the vinyl sticker but don't want to buy a Cricut, there's a bunch of Etsy sellers that carry vinyl fonts, especially Ray Dunn, that you can order and then use on different things. Lots of sellers also customize vinyl for you, so that's another option. So what I did is I put Happy Easter on my little pink gnome. Then I got these carrot stickers from Dollar Tree. There's an adhesive on the back. You remove the paper and place the sticker directly on the gnome. You can also put some glue to secure the carrot in place. And then those little felt bunnies that I showed you guys earlier, they come with these little felt pieces that are used for the bunny's hands and stomach. I decided to use the smaller pieces that are used for the hands as my gnome's hands. So I just attach it to the adhesive that's on the back of the carrot. On my blue and green one, I did hip and hop on their hats, and then I did the carrots with the little hands. They're so cute. Okay, for the next DIY, we're going to do a Ray Dunn thing again. So from Dollar Tree, I picked up a glass jar, and then I used my Cricut to spell out jelly beans and Peeps. So basically, I'm just trying to recreate these jars that I've seen by Ray Dunn and Marshalls. Again, I like Ray Dunn. I know some people do not like Ray Dunn, so you can always do a different font. So what I do is I place my vinyl on the front of my glass, get that in place. Then to paint the glass, I'm actually going to take my paint. In this case, I'm using this Apple Barrel light pink paint. I'm going to pour that inside of the glass and then start to move the glass around. So I'm getting more of a creamy paint look to it rather than painting the outside of the glass, and it has more of that chalky acrylic look to it. When you have your glass entirely painted in the inside, you want to leave it upside down so any excess paint could drip out. And you're going to leave that at least for 24 hours so that the paint can dry. If you try to mess with it too soon and flip it over, the paint's going to come right down and mess up. So you want to keep it upside down till the paint completely dries and drips out. If you're not a fan of wasting paint, don't use an ice paint on this. Once it is dry, the next day you're going to have some pieces of paint that are like kind of crusted on top of the jar. So you got to remove that, use your fingers to just pick it right off, and then you're good to go. Like I said, I did a jelly bean one, and then I did a yellow one that says Peep. I was trying to mimic some Ray Dunn items that I have seen in the store, like I said. For our next DIY, I'm going to use a wooden crate from Dollar Tree, and you want to get the wooden crate that looks like this. There's two different ones you can get. The other one has wooden slats, and there's like gaps between each little piece of wood. I'm painting 3 sections of this crate 3 different colors. So I did apple barrel lemon paint for the middle part, apple barrel Key West paint for the bottom, and then apple barrel light pink paint for the top. I also painted the bottom of the crate pink, but now the bottom is going to be our top. I then used my Cricut to cut out some vinyl that said carrot patch, and then I also cut out a little shape of a carrot. I literally got that for free on Google. Obviously, this is supposed to look like the farmhouse books. To decorate the top of this one, I got this bead garland from Hobby Lobby, half off. It was $5. I cut it down to fit the top of the little books, and I'm just going to decorate it that way. And I've said this so many times on this channel, and I'll continue to say it. If you're looking for wooden beads, it's better to go elsewhere than to go to Dollar Tree and get their wooden beads, because their wooden beads are on the small side, and to paint them it really becomes a pain in the butt. It's better to just go to like Amazon. You could get a bunch for a cheap price. This one was $5. I got bigger beads and they were already painted. I just recommend going elsewhere if you have the means to. Here's an option from Dollar Tree. If you want an option from Dollar Tree that I think is better than the wooden beads, you can get the glitter vase filler and also a pack of the little sewing kit, which has needles and thread in it. You can use a needle and thread to basically bead through the glitter vase filler, so it essentially ends up looking like little wooden beads. They don't look exactly like wooden beads, but it still gives off the same type of vibe that the wooden beads do. So you add your little vase fillers, and then you want to get some ribbon, twine, whatever it might be. I'm using some green twine that I got from Dollar Tree. You're going to create a little tassel. To create the tassel, you just wrap it around something. You can use your hand. I use the sewing kit. You wrap it around quite a few times, and then you slide the twine or ribbon off. You then cut another little piece, and you just tie it at the top of what you just made, and then cut the bottom of that. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can see what I'm doing. That's how I made a tassel. Once I have my tassel done, I feed the thread through the tassel, tie it in place. I then push down the little vase filler, and then I decided to add a wooden bunny to the other end. So I got this pack of wooden bunnies from Dollar Tree. I tied the thread around that wooden bunny, and then I painted it pink. So that's another option if you want to do that bead garland, but using only Dollar Tree products. Dollar Tree also has beads if you want to use beads instead of little balls like this. I also wanted to do a neutral set of this, so I just took a wooden crate from Dollar Tree and I painted it all white. Now I'm going to take one of my sponge brushes and rip a piece off. Then I'm going to dip that into this hazelnut paint. It's by Waverly. It's in the color hazelnut. It's a chalk paint that I got from Walmart. And I'm going to start stippling that color onto my crate. And I only really put it around the edges of what is supposed to be the book. So not around the entire thing, just like the edges of what's supposed to be each book. Then I take a paintbrush that's dipped in that hazelnut paint, and I define where each book is, basically just looking at those wooden pieces that have like an indent to it, and I just put the paint inside of there. I used my Cricut to create this Happy Easter vinyl, place that on top of the crate, transfer it on. And then I'm going to add some ribbon around this. So I got this really pretty lace ribbon from Dollar Tree. I decided to wrap that around my crate. And then I also added some twine. To decorate this, I got this little beaded garland from Hobby Lobby for $2. So I used that instead of making anything from Dollar Tree. It was cheaper to buy than to make. I was left with these really pretty faux farmhouse books. I love the way that they came out. They're perfect for tier trays if that's what you want to use them for. This is by far my favorite DIY in this video. I just love the way they look. For our next DIY, I'm going to be using these eggs that I got from Dollar Tree, along with one of these little buckets you'll find in the party section. Then I'll be using some foam pieces that I got from Dollar Tree. I got this cone one and then this circular type of dome shape. So I go ahead and I place that dome shape one inside of my bucket. You can go ahead and glue it in place if you want to. And then I'm going to glue that cone piece on top of the other styrofoam piece. Now I start to glue on my eggs. As I glue my eggs, I do hold them in place as the glue dries, because if you let go of them too soon, they fall over on you. It's important that you hold the first layer of eggs in place and wait for that glue to completely dry, and then as you add the other layers of eggs, you don't have to hold it in place as long, because when you place those eggs down, you can attach them to the eggs that are above them. The glue just dries more quickly when it is being placed on that plastic egg material versus the styrofoam, because on the styrofoam it does melt the styrofoam a little bit. So yeah, that's my tip. Hold your eggs and wait for them to dry. I don't know, that sounds strange. Anyways, once I have all my eggs down in place, I want to cover up the gaps of styrofoam that are still showing. So I use Dollar Tree little floral pieces to do this. I got these roses from Dollar Tree and I cut all the little roses off and then some of the greenery that's on those roses. And then I just glue those in place, like I said, wherever I see gaps of styrofoam peeking through. You can also get mini eggs, so eggs that are smaller than this, and use those to cover up the styrofoam. There's different options that you can find at Dollar Tree. But I was left with these really cute egg trees. I love the way they look. They remind me of the ones that I bought from Big Lots, and you can see the ones I bought from Big Lots behind them. And I paid, I think, $12 or $16 for those ones from Big Lots. I purchased them last year. For our next DIY from Dollar Tree, I'm going to be using one of these galvanized buckets. I removed the lettering off of another bucket using 100% acetone nail polish remover that I actually got at Dollar Tree. And on the front of it, I instead put this farm fresh 25-cent carrots served daily thing that I made again with my Cricut. Dollar Tree especially has fonts that are very similar to this with their stickers and the rub-on transfers. In the inside of my little planter, I am going to add some moss. So at first I had this dried moss that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I thought it would be enough to fill this. It wasn't enough, so then I added some Spanish moss that I also got from Dollar Tree on the top of this. Then I used the Dollar Tree carrots that you saw me use earlier on. I just placed them inside of my planter. You can put as little or as many as you like. I'm going to make some little labels for this. So I got these plant labels from Dollar Tree and then these little miniature carrots. So I placed the carrot on top of the label, figure out where I want it to be, and then I put down my wording. Again, I use my Cricut to do this. You can use whatever you like. A Sharpie would be absolutely perfect for this as well. I like using my Cricut because, like I said, I have it, and my handwriting I'm not the biggest fan of, so I rather use a Cricut and make it easy for myself. So once I got my wording down, I then use hot glue to glue on the little carrots. I made two different signs. I had one that says carrots and then one that said 25 cents. Once done with my labels, I then glue them to the inside of the bucket, and then I take that bunny that I used earlier on in a different DIY, the head part that I didn't use, I glue a ruler to the back of it and then I put that inside of my bucket. I also got these carrot seeds from Dollar Tree. They're for $1. I put one on a label and stuck that in my bucket as well, and then I have this cute little type of Easter decor / farm fresh decor. If you take the bunny out, it's perfect all year round, especially during the spring and summertime. The footage you're seeing now is actually from another video, but we're gonna use this DIY for the one I'm making now. From Dollar Tree, you just pick up some clay. They carry Model Magic from Crayola. I picked up some of those and I'm creating a peep. I'm just doing the peep bunny shape, just molding the clay, and then you just let it air dry. I did 3 peep bunnies total. I painted 1 pink, 1 blue, and 1 yellow. And then I paint on the little eyes and mouth, or eyes and nose. I really don't know what the smaller circle at the bottom is, using brown paint. Now I got these pencil holders from Dollar Tree. They're real wood and I'm painting them. I used 3 of them. I painted one with Apple Barrel's light blue paint, another one with Apple Barrel's light pink paint, and then the third one with Apple Barrel's lemon paint. I'm going to use these as like flower holders, just decorative pieces. So I got these carrot picks from Dollar Tree. There's 2 in a pack. I removed the bamboo stick from the bottom and then I just placed 3 of them inside of one of the pencil holders. To the other 2 pencil holders, I got these roses from Dollar Tree. I bent the bottom stem and then I put those inside of the other 2. I then placed the Peeps that I made to the front of the pencil holders. I didn't do blue with blue, yellow with yellow, pink with pink. I just kind of mixed the colors around. I like the way that that looked better. And this came out so cute. You can glue on the Peeps if you want to. I didn't glue them on because I don't know if I want them to be displayed this way or if I'm going to end up putting the Peeps inside of a tier tray. I don't know quite yet, but either way, I think this is adorable and I love the colors. For our final DIY, I'm going to be using these 3D wreath forms from Dollar Tree. You'll be able to make 4 wreaths with just one of these 3D wreath forms if you like. I'm going to be using the biggest circle, so I removed the smaller ones. I then take a wire cutter and I cut the bottom of my wreath. And then I removed the 2 little things that are popping out that hold the other 3 little wreath forms in place. Next up, I'm going to take that wooden bead garland you saw me use earlier that I got for $5 at Hobby Lobby. Originally $9.99, but they have them half off, so you're going to pay $5 right now. I'm going to cut this down and start using the beads and feeding them through the wire. You will not end up using all of the beaded garland. You're going to have some left over, and what I had left over is actually what I used on the farmhouse book you guys saw me do earlier. Now I take some tape and I close off the section of the wire that I cut to feed the beads through. I just wrap it around that wire so that it closes it off, and then I use some hot glue to glue in place the beads that are near the tape so that they don't keep moving around. Now I'm going to add some greenery where the tape is. So I got these roses from Dollar Tree and I'm just taking off the leaf stems first. I glue some of those down and then I start to add roses and the other greenery that's around the roses. I also picked up this greenery bouquet from Dollar Tree. That's exactly what it's called. I took pieces of the greenery off of that and added it to my wreath as well. I decided that I wanted something else to secure all of the greenery in place, so I got these black zip ties from Dollar Tree and I just used them to tighten around the wire so that the greenery wouldn't go anywhere. I was just afraid, since the bottom was really heavy and filled with a lot of greenery, that it might just kind of fall down eventually, so I used the zip ties to really secure it into place. Just use more greenery to cover up the zip ties. Dollar Tree does carry clear zip ties that you can use. I just didn't have any on hand, so I went with the black ones that I have. I did cover it up though with some roses and you couldn't see it at all. And that's how I made this beaded wreath. It's so easy to do, and Dollar Tree does carry those 3D wreath forms in a bigger size. So if you want to do like a really big one, you could go ahead and do that. That is it for these Dollar Tree Easter DIYs. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I still have to decorate for Easter. I don't know how that's going to go this year because I don't have a lot of time. We will see though. And if I decorate, I'll definitely upload that to YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.